Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Habits of Influence, and welcome on this beautiful day. As every week now, me, Magdalena, Hanah, and my co host,
Ian Manheimer.
we're with you discussing topics, sitting down and discussing topics that are business related and life related. Slightly deeper topics, not what you can hear on every single podcast. Our mission here is to indirectly mentor you and guide you if you're the kind of person that wants to become influential and wants to build a movement of people that are absolutely excited and happy to follow you. And every single week, we sit down and we discuss those topics that I choose and Ian has absolutely no knowledge of. So every single week, he has absolutely no idea what to expect. And we are just giving it to you raw, unprepared, as it comes. So if you enjoy that sort of chats, please do remember to like and subscribe. We're on all major podcast platforms as well as YouTube if you prefer to see us and interact with us in a comment section. Right, today's topic is a good one. My favorite indeed. Do you know what it might be by seeing it on my latest posts?
If it's going to be something that's your favorite, I'm going to say it has to do with sales and marketing.
Yes.
Yes.
The topic that I wanted to discuss with you today is why are people so bad at sales?
Ooh, this fun.
But before we begin, I wanted to roll our standard Habit of Influence intro, so let's roll it now. Hello and welcome, and thank you for tuning in to Habits of Influence, a project by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, where we discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly aspects of building a movement, and hopefully provide insight, as well as motivation for your business journey. Through the combined expertise of 34 years in business, your hosts, Magdalena Hanah and Ian Manheimer, are here to empower and indirectly mentor you whilst you become the person others wish to follow. All right, we're back. God, I have been having such a really difficult time recently, and that is because you just kind of reach that point in your career and also in your mental capacity of what you are able to accept. And when it comes to sales, this has always been my pet peeve. And especially, if people are absolutely unprofessional, I hate this. I can't stand this. I fight against this, or at least I'm trying to. But recently, it has reached a tipping point. So I've been writing about it quite a lot. I wrote an article, I wrote several posts on my profile, and I also decided I'm going to start recording a new series. Some of you may know I'm actually starting my own personal YouTube channel, which I'm going to tag down below in the about section. So please do follow that as well. Shameless plug, but do follow it. It's worth it. And the series is going to be called My Reaction to the Worst Sales Pitches Ever, or something along those lines. Um, yeah. What do you think about people's ability in sales, and why is it so bad?
Are you asking me right now?
Yeah.
This is the simplest answer ever, because they try to sell.
We have to beep this.
This
Yeah.
is that is the simplest reason. People are so wrapped up in their minds about make a sale, make a sale, make a sale. They don't give a crap about what people actually need. They don't build rapport. They don't build relationship, and they don't care enough to actually serve their community or their people. That's why they suck at sales, because they work so hard to make a sale. It's like the car lot. You walk into a car lot and they're like, "Oh, buy this car." It's like, you're trying to sell me an SUV, but I want an electric car. But this SUV has all. I don't give a crap what the SUV has. I don't want an SUV. I want something that's not running on gas. They're going to try to sell you what you don't want, what you don't need. And that, I think that if I was to sum it up, that is why people suck at sales, because they're not actually taking the time to listen to their client. What is their client trying to achieve or get, or what does their customer want? what is they're looking for, and how do you actually serve your customer or your client.
Mm.
If you take a moment to listen, to learn, to find out what it is that they want, what they need, and how to fill or serve that need, you don't have to sell. You don't have to sell. You're going to just naturally sell because you're fulfilling what they need, and they're going to want to buy from you. They're going to want to follow you. They're just naturally going to gravitate towards what you're offering because you care about them as a person, them as a client, them as a customer, however you want to put it. And their needs are what you're going to be focusing on, not the dollar going in your pocket.
Yes. All of that, yes. And my dear friend, this is the liveliest I've seen you in a long while. So I'm assuming that this topic.
I love this topic.
Oh my God. I'm having an impression that everybody else hates sales, but everybody loves to talk about sales. But the thing is, man, oh man, oh man. I understand it's fantastic. There's a lot of people going into business right now because there's this general global panic of, what's going to happen soon. Everybody wants to be in business. Nobody wants to be an employee anymore, which is great and bad. Like everything, it has goods and bad sides. But people go into business completely unprepared and for a completely wrong set of reasons. Like you said, it's not about actual help or providing the best solutions to customers. It's about running after a quick buck. And unfortunately, it shows. And it shows especially in direct marketing, otherwise known famously as the DMs, where people just have a tendency to, throw that proverbial spaghetti on the wall and just saying, will it stick? I don't care if you have a problem. I don't care if you have a problem that I can solve. I'm going to assume that not only do you have that problem, but also I'm the best person for you to solve that problem. So they're basically prescribing without diagnosing, and it's the worst thing a person can do. Like you said, you wouldn't want to go to a car dealership and want a sports car, and they serving you up with an SUV, because that is a complete miss. You might fall in love with it later. Nobody's saying that you can't, but it's a complete miss of wants and needs and what you actually got. The reason why I'm being so passionate about it is I receive hundreds of those messages every single week. And not only do they clutter up my inbox, they also take my time. Because I usually do take the time to read in case, there is this little pearl in there that is actually doing sales the correct way. Sometimes I get into those conversations and I flip the script and I sell to people who wanted to sell to me. That happens. It's just super fun. But it's taking my time. When it ends with a customer, fine. I can at least teach them the right way. That's awesome, yeah? If I do establish in a course of a conversation, the reverse conversation, that they actually could use or need whatever it is that I offer, then I do make I don't even call it a pitch. That's the first thing, is like, pitching has this wrong sound to it, isn't it? It's like, what do you feel when you hear the word pitch? Like, it's either, you're going to get hit, yeah? It's either going to hurt or you need to kind of like throw it back, yeah? Which I'm doing when I'm reselling to sellers. It doesn't have a right connotation. And in my impression, it's just jumping, a few steps ahead of what you should be doing when you are doing a proper sales process, right? And I always, when I explain it to people, there's another kind of comparison that I want to bring up. It's kind of like you see a person on the other side of the street, yeah? And it's like a busy road. There's massive amounts of cars, like kind of like a New York kind of, lots of taxis and cars and massive traffic, or London, and you see that person on the other side of the road and you think like, shit, this is my best friend, yeah? I know this is my best friend. And you run through the traffic. You're avoiding cars. The cars almost hit you. You get to that person, you tap them on the back and you say, do you know what? I just saw you. I know that you're going to love me. It's ridiculous. You would never do it in real life. Why? What the hell would you do it? when you are selling to people.
All I visualized while you were saying that was the game Frogger. Like I see the traffic a little trying to get across.
There was a game like that. There used to be a game like that, I think, in one of those like first computers, like Atari or
It was called Frogger. It was a little frog that tried to get across the road and had like
I
buses. So that's what you totally reminded me of. And it's funny you mention this because I get the same thing because I'm in a lot of different groups and oh, you see people, oh, so and so's in this group. Oh, cool. Yeah, let me accept their friend request. Hey, bro, how's it going? Good. Tell me about yourself. What do you do? I'm like, oh, dope. Hey, I got this great dinner coming up. Do you want to join my mastermind dinner? Do you want to join my training program? Hey, have you ever thought about being a public speaker? I have a public speaking training program. I think you'd be great for it. You've never even talked to me. Why would you think I'm a great public speaker? Like,
well, I'm getting numbers in my inbox. People are saying, would you like to earn, or, like such and such a month? And I'm earning it. So why?
I love that one too. It's like yeah, show me what you're making. Let's see. Let's compare numbers. I used to do that with because I know a lot of people that do like the MLMs, and there's nothing. I'm not saying anything bad about MLMs. There's people who do very well with them.
Oh, coaching is much worse than MLMs, though.
so whenever somebody would say, "Hey, I'd like to bring you out to a presentation. I got this really great opportunity for you." I'm like, "Hey, really? It's a good opportunity. Let me see what kind of numbers you're making." Oh, well, I'm not right there yet, but these people who I'm going to introduce you to are there. I'm like, well, if you're bringing me in, that means I'm going to be under you. That means you're going to be mentoring me. So if you're not where I want to be, why would I follow you? And they're like, well, I'm just this close. I'm like, well, you're not there. When you're there, I want to see your numbers. And I tell people, I said, let me see your bank statement. If your bank statement is where I want to be, I will listen to what you have to say. If it's not where I want to be, then I'm not interested.
It's funny because, that's another thing that just opened up for me. It's like, the statement of I make such and such. Oh my Lord. Especially, this business world, like in business consulting, business coaching, digital marketing, stuff like that is like, I found a way to earn 100 million, trillion, billion dollars a day. Would you like to have this, whatever PDF that I've created because I just decided that I earned a trillion and I'm going to create a PDF about it. Do you want it? Yeah. So, and the funny thing is, I remember, a lot of time I invest in myself and I go into different coaching programs with different mentors, trainers, just kind of like upping my game all the time and kind of growing and trying to learn. And sometimes I used to be in groups like that had like a financial cap. So, group under certain amount of money. Yes. If you're earning under this and this amount of money, then you go into the group and they tell you how to break this barrier. Right. And, all of those people, billion, trillion, million a day. Yeah. They were there in that group, which I find absolutely hilarious. And I couldn't stop laughing. It's like, why? Why do you have to lie? Why do you feel compelled that you have to lie? And like I said, coaches are worse than MLMs. It's kind of like, even today, I was in this group. It's absolutely hilarious story. It kind of looks like, this game of, the little table with the football people that kind of like kick the ball one to the other. It looks like that. It's like one is pitching to the other is pitching to it's just like, who's better? Who's gonna put more in? Oh my Lord, it's just ridiculous. And somebody's just coming out with a suggestion. It's like, hey, what if we actually made relationships like real ones with people? And it's like you've got like hundreds of people, and it's like that doesn't make sense. Oh my God.
You say a couple things, it just popped in my head. You're talking about all these pitches, and I'm like, are we at a baseball game? It's like that's where we need pitches, right? That's where you need at a baseball game. And the people.
It is. It's kind of like I said before, instead of diagnosing, prescribing, it's like I went to the doctor and I said, you know what, I have a pain in my back. I've been struggling with sciatica for the past 3.5 weeks, like a massive pain. And imagine me going to my GP and just saying, like, do you know what, I have this pain, I know it's sciatica, it kind of hurts in my back and my leg. And she says, do you know what you need? I think you need more vitamin D and a tanning bed. it's kind of like, it feels like that, if somebody goes into my inbox and talks to me about things that are completely out of context and irrelevant. Imagine that, or imagine that she told me like, no, your back doesn't hurt, you've got cancer.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's like, thank you very much. I kind of know where it hurts me, but
Hey, I know your back's hurting really bad, but if you just listen to my 5-week program, you'll feel
5 week
better.
meditation.
You'll feel better because you'll be earning more money, and because if you earn more money, obviously you won't have any
You're
physical
gonna
ailments.
forget about the back.
That's kind of the way it goes. That's the way people are. It's slimy. It's so gross out there with some of these people that just kind of we're talking about the sales thing. It's like it goes back to the whole sales thing. It's people just try to sell without any back information, without
Yeah,
knowing who you are, what you need, why.
absolutely.
You know, it's like it's trying to sell me alcohol I don't drink. Or
Yeah.
trying to convince me the benefits of eating blue cheese. I will not eat blue cheese. You can put a gun to my head and just fucking shoot me. Just like I'm not eating it. No, it's like I will puke. You want me to puke? I'll eat it. It. I had a friend that told me a story, and it's kind of similar. I don't know where they were. They were walking through somewhere, and somebody was doing a demonstration on like cooking, like utensils and cooking pans or pots, whatever. And they were totally pitching to my friend. And my friend was like, "No, I'm really not interested. I don't cook." And like, "Oh, well, the reason you don't cook is because it's too difficult to cook at home. If you just have this, it'd be really easy." And my friend's like, "No, I eat out. I don't cook. Like, I'm not interested in cooking." Like, well, let me just show you how easy it is. And like, they went through this whole asking this person for 20 minutes about this product. And at the end, she finally said, she goes, "My sister, who's standing right next to me, loves to cook. If you would have talked to her, you probably could have sold her, but I'm not buying your product." And she walked away, you
Yeah.
know, but it just goes to really, I really feel that sales is it has a negative,
Read the crowd. Read the crowd.
yeah, sales has a negative connotation because everyone thinks of that slimy car salesperson, or the people who oversell, or like we're talking about the coaching realm, where everyone has exactly what you need, and even though they don't know what you need.
And they start the same way. They literally start this. We have groups in common, or we have friends in common. Or the worst one I received recently, which I found like, what the hell? He didn't even try. It's like, I can see you're interested in coaching. What?
So yes, I would love to take you as a client. Let me know when you'd like to sign up.
Yeah, I've got this program. Like, oh my
That's what I started doing when people start that. It's like, whenever somebody comes to me now, I always go back to my party rental company because that's my main source of revenue. And whenever people say, "Oh yeah, I think I would love for you to do this, or consider us for this," I'm like, "Hey, great, when you're ready to throw your party, we've got all the answers for you." Whatever, I started coming up with some whatever rebuttal that I use the exact same words that they use, just change it to party
Obviously,
stuff.
yeah.
You know,
Because good sales are all about listening and using that, not only listening, shutting up and listening and letting the customer actually talk themselves into sales. But that's not, I understand it's not, but it would be good if more people were actually teaching how to do that properly, how to listen more and talk less. Kind of, that would change so many things. That would change.
well, a little while ago you mentioned relationships, and somebody like frowned about that. And what people don't realize is, and it's a cliche statement, but it's very true, is your network determines your net worth, right? The people who know about you,
I don't really agree with that. Absolutely
you
not.
know,
My best
why
friend, that got my back, they fluctuate. Sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. I don't give a shit, to be quite fair, what they're currently doing, because they're just good people, and my best friends, I've got three, and they're wonderful women. They have different stages in life like everybody else. They're not super wealthy, none of them are. It doesn't matter, because they are people I can trust, and they will always, they are always the kind of people that will cheer me on in whatever it is that I'm doing, right? They have completely different interests than I do, completely different things.
well,
So,
that's different from your friend group. I'm not talking about your friend group or
but
people
that's
you're
what is
supposed.
being recommended, right? So much like, let go of your friends, they are bringing you
Oh
down.
yeah. No,
The
I'm
stupid.
talking about like in your business world, in your business network, your relationships do have I mean, unless, I guess it really depends on what you're doing. For me in my business, people that know about what we do.
So you're
That
basically your business network, is that what you mean? Your collaborators or people who can
Yeah,
recommend you further?
people who support you, people who know what you do,
Yeah,
your network of businesses that refer you out.
yeah.
Like your clients, when your clients are happy and they turn around and say, "Hey, I just got done working with Magdalena. She helped me with my
Yeah,
XYZ."
absolutely. It's a no-brainer to just put it forward. Absolutely. And it's not like, like you have this like, oh, you have to ask for reviews or whatnot. If you are doing a great job and if that sales process, and bear in mind, sales process is pre-sale, during the point of sale, and post the point of sale, because your delivery and the way you're treating and what kind of experience you're giving to your customers, it's all kind of like the same process, right? It doesn't end just on the point of sale. That's what people don't understand. That experience that you're going to give to people is going to result in them either coming back to you and wanting more, which, I pride myself in, not the fact that I can get so and so amount of new customers, but the fact that my old customers are so happy that they keep on coming back. They are
retention.
getting the results, but they are coming back, and that's what I value the most. But also, that they will recommend someone else, because you will be on their mind as someone who has helped them in an exceptional way, different than everybody else. And you didn't have to, put a gun to their head and just tell them that you're gonna give them 90K in 3 days, or something like along those lines.
It's so funny. There's a lot of local groups here, based in Vancouver, based on like the different cities, and it's like so and so neighborhood group, so and so neighborhood group, whatever. And there's one up in Battleground. It's about 20-30 minutes from where I live, and it's so funny because whenever there's anybody looking for anything in the event world, um, I get tagged so much in that. Like you'll see 30, 40 comments, 50 comments with my name or my company. You'll see one person with one company, one person with another company. And like, it's just like all, there
Yeah.
was one the other day, it cracked me up. I had to laugh. I wonder if I could look it up on my phone, but it was so funny. Somebody tagged me. They're like, I'm going to recommend this guy just because everyone else says he's great. I don't even know who he is.
I would
It was
actually put it up on the website. This is brilliant.
it made me laugh so hard. They're like, I don't know this person, but everyone else thinks they're great, so I'm going to recommend them.
See, that's what it is. That's what create movements, because great customer service, and this is actually very much tied into what we're talking about, is that we become to have brand ambassadors, people who are so happy with whatever it is that we represent, or whatever service we gave them, or whatever product we gave them. It doesn't matter what line of business you're in, whether it's normal business, company, whatever, corporation, or personal brand. It doesn't matter. If your service is exceptional throughout the whole process, if your product is exceptional, then people will start to endorse you to others in a way like they are endorsing their own.
If you do what you say you're going to do, if you provide the service or the product you say you're going to provide, and you stand behind what you say you're going to do, people are going to buy. Period. And I hate to use the word buy because it's not always buy. It's a whatever it is, and it's kind of the same way I would say about going to a movie or going to a restaurant. If you go out to a restaurant, you have a really good experience. The server was on point. Your drinks never got, empty. The food came out hot. Everything tasted delicious. It was a good atmosphere. You're going to be bragging about that to everybody. Oh, I went to this restaurant. I had such a good experience. The server was great. You're going to get excited about it, and you're going to tell people. And the flip side of that, if you had really bad service, if you had really bad food, you're going to tell people.
Yeah, even more.
So it goes both ways. And same thing with a movie. You go to see a really good movie, you're like, oh my God, I went to see this movie. It was so great. Oh, but you get excited. And if it was really bad, you're like, don't waste your money. Don't waste your time. That was horrible. I can't get that 2 hours of my life back. That was a waste of my life. And it our is about influence, and our personal influence does influence others.
Yeah,
It influences
but
our
also
friends.
not rushing in, and not trying to, on the first day, trying to get that sale, or sign that person, or provide that, like, sign them to get that service or the product or whatever. Take your time. Be normal. Be a normal human being. And I think what you're saying here is like, when people have a bad experience, they will give a bad review. I guess why it hurts me so much is because in personal branding, it's a hush hush topic. I mean, everybody is complaining about the fact that somebody is in their DMs and it's annoying them and it's like invasive and it's done badly. But no one will ever expose anybody. Hence why I am launching again in my personal YouTube channel. One of the things that I want to do is my reactions to the worst sales pitches, where I will actually show you the sales pitch and I will dissect it and talk about it, of what is done wrong, and suggest what could be done otherwise. So if that's something that interests you, if that's something you would like to watch or be part of, do follow my other channel. It's YouTube Magdalena Hanah, and I will actually link it in the about section under this episode. So yeah, do that. But coming back to the topic, just people, people don't see anything beyond that quick sale, beyond that quick buck. And I don't know if it's because of desperation, or is there this one person that is just going around and teaching people wrong?
I don't know. Can I touch on one more thing real quick?
Of course.
Because this popped in my head.
Your podcast.
Well, and this popped in my head because this has happened a few times recently. And I think there's a stigma that we have to close every deal. And I don't believe that. I really don't believe. I don't believe we have to close every deal. And the reason I say that is knowing our customers. I've recently had a few people, and we've raised our pricing lately significantly from what we've done in the past. We've restructured a lot, and we've priced ourselves the higher end of our market. And I've had a few people call me recently that were a little farther away, and when I told them our minimum order was, it was beyond their budget. Now I could have said, "Hey, I'm really sorry, can't do anything for you." I could have said, "Okay, we'll lower our pricing and take care of you." Or what I chose to do is say, "You know what? I can't take care of you at that budget range, but here, let me give you one of my competitors' numbers who I know
Let me
does a good
recommend someone else. That's another thing. That's a
who does
very
a good
valuable
job
point.
who does a good job, and they will take care of your needs. I can't do it at that price point, but maybe they can." And I've sent people over. I can't tell you how many emails I've gotten that have said, "Hey, thank you so much for the recommendation. We really appreciate it. And you know what? When our budget's a little bit higher, we're coming back to you because you took such good care of us." I had somebody give a 5-star review on my company that didn't book an event with us because of that. They went online. They even said it. "I called this company. They didn't have what they need. They weren't able to take care of what we needed, or they didn't have what we needed. So they referred me to one of their competitors. 5-star customer service out the door. I will definitely call them for anything in the future." It's like,
There you go.
I think that is something that there's this whole stigma of, me. I have to win. I have to win. And by having a network of people, and even in your own industry, that you can refer to, or that you can send people to, that like, and that you trust, and that they're going to do a good job, and take really at the end of the day, just taking care of your people, you're going to make more sales.
Absolutely.
You may not get every sale, but you're going
But
to
you
make
shouldn't
money.
attempt to get every sale, because not everyone is for you and you're not for everyone. That's another story. But this is a very valid point that you've made. I actually, in fact, have this when I start a first conversation with a person, whether it is on the phone or whether it is in a chat. I inform them immediately that I'm going to ask you a few questions, and we're going to see if I'm able to help you, or if I'm unable to help you, I will suggest someone else. And the fact of the matter is, I am creating a Rolodex of people. Usually those are the people that I've either coached or have somehow collaborated with me in other shape or form. But if I know that someone is more geared towards the person's problems, why would I take the money if I know that another person is going to help them better? But see, I don't. People would rather kill themselves than do this, because you're taking away from me.
There's two different mindsets. There's a growth, or there's a growth mindset, and there's a lack mindset, right? So people who operate from a lack mindset or fear mindset are afraid of other people. Then there's people who are open to collaborating, and growth mindset understand that there's enough business to go around. There is enough out there for all of us that we don't have to have everything. We don't.
Mm.
It's just not.
Tell that to the gurus who are attempting to have every single market, every single thing, and when they're out of ideas, they're stealing from small creators.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the
don't.
people that supposedly should have the open, open mindset or whatever,
They'll tell
enlightened.
you to.
Huh?
They will tell you to have that open mindset, but they
Yes.
don't themselves.
Yes.
So they're not in alignment with their messaging.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they will tell you that you have some sort of, what is that, the worst thing that I've heard from people? They have money blocks, whatever the bollocks, or some other bollocks thing like that. It's like, no, you're just not doing shit. Or you're
Yeah.
doing it incorrectly. The first rule of sale that I teach to my people, and I actually recently did a training with my team, is you can ask the right questions in the wrong way just as much you can ask the wrong questions. And it
True.
is. Sales is about asking, skillful asking of questions. If you don't want to pitch and you wish to sell, you don't state freaking facts. You don't prescribe things to people who don't need them at all. You ask skillful questions.
Yeah. I would agree with you. I think it's a great point to just kind of stop it there. But I don't know if there's anything else to say beyond that.
But hey, that was energetic. That was good. That was a good episode. We need to talk about sales more often. You're going to wake up.
Yeah.
All right, as usual, people, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful listeners, whether you're coming for the first time or you're coming back as usual, we always love to hear what you have to say about the topic. What is your opinion about sales? Whatever sales that you have contact with or the sales that you're doing with, drop them in the comments on our YouTube channel. Of course, do not forget to like and subscribe if you're liking the content and you would like to see our future episodes. If you are enjoying what we're doing here, if you want to be part of the fun, just like and subscribe either on the major podcast platforms or on YouTube if you prefer to see us. And of course, remember about the upcoming series on my personal YouTube channel, because this is going to be a bump. I'm expecting that to be anyway. I'm already gathering quite a lot of content on a weekly basis. So, and if you have some sort of, that's another thing that I wanted to say at the end. If you have pitches in your DMs yourself that you would like to share with me for the purposes of the episodes, please do share them with me and send them over to habitofinfluence@gmail.com. That's habitofinfluence@gmail.com. I really appreciate you. Love you, Ian. Thank you so much for yet another great episode. And I'm going to see you and everybody else next week. Take care.
Have a great week, everybody.